Good afternoon, everyone. In today's class, we are going to see a C program to display Pascal triangle using for loop. Let us see the learning outcome of this experiment. So by doing this experiment, you will be able to identify the logic required for printing a given pattern. Then you will be able to apply nested loops to print the pattern. And also to print the Pascal triangle pattern, we are going to use the concept of 2D arrays. Now let us see first sample input output to understand what a Pascal triangle is. So in Pascal triangle, the user will be giving the input as number of rows. So here number of rows is given as 5. That means in your output, the triangle should have 5 rows and every row will have certain information. If you observe the triangle, before the first number in the triangle, we have certain spaces. And after that, we are printing a number. If you see the second row, first we have certain spaces, then we are printing one number, then we give one more space, then we are printing the second number. Then in the third row, certain spaces, first number, one space, second number, another space, third number. Likewise, your output goes. Now, we need to understand the logic behind this program. So this program, we are going to use the concept of nested loops. So nested loop is nothing but one loop inside another loop. Why we need nested loop here is, first we are going to write the outer loop for printing the number of rows, and then we are going to use the inner loop for printing the number of columns. If you see the given input, the n value is 5. So that means you have 5 rows in your output. The row number here, it varies from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is, the row index varies from 0 to 4. You can even use 1 to 5, but why I have used 0 to 4 is, I'm going to use the concept of arrays. In array, the index always start with 0. So I'm using 0 to 4. Now, outer for loop is for printing the row. So I'm going to use the for loop index as 0 up to n minus 1. Every time you have to increment by 1. That is 0, then 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us consider the inner for loop. Inner for loop is for printing columns in each row. So if you see this inner for loop, you need to find out how many times you have to run this inner for loop. Let us see the diagram for understanding. If you consider row 0, in that you need to print only one element. In row 1, you have to print 2 elements. Then in row 2, 3 elements and so on. So number of elements to be printed depends upon the row number. They are not constant always. So we need to arrive at a common formula for controlling this. So what is the formula? If you consider row 0, in that I need to print one element. Okay, so I need to run the loop from the index 0 up to row. Here, row index is nothing but 0. So run the loop from 0 to 0. That is one time you have to run the loop. If you consider the row with index 1, that is the second row, you need to run this from the index 0 up to row. That is 0. The row index is 1. So 0 to 1. So how many times we are running this loop is 2 times. Because we need to print 2 elements in the row 1. If you consider row 2, here we need to run from 0 to row, that is 0, 1 and 2, totally 3 times. Because in row 2, we need to print 3 elements. So the general formula for printing the number of columns is, run the inner for loop from index 0 up to the index row. Every time you need to increment by 1. Now let us see how to print spaces. Before printing every number in each row, you need to print first spaces. After that only you are going to print the number. So how many spaces we have in each row? Let us look at that. In row 0, we have 4 spaces. In row 1, we have 3 spaces. Then only the first number in that row appears. So in row 2, we have 2 spaces. In row 3, 1 space, and in row 4, there is no space. So if you see the general logic here, if it is row 0, you run the loop from 0 up to n minus row minus 1. So, sorry, 1 up to n minus row minus 1. That is 1, 2, n is 5 in this example. Row is 0 here. And if you use 5 minus 0 minus 1, it is 4. So run the loop from 1 to 4. It means that you need to print totally 4 spaces. That is the thing we have done here. And if you consider row 1, you need to run this from 1 up to n, that is 5, minus row, it is 1 minus 1. So that is 1 to 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3, so 1 to 3. So we need to run this for totally 3 times because we have 3 spaces here. Likewise, your formula proceeds. If you consider the last row with index 4, we will not have any space in that. That is, the number of spaces is 0. So the general formula for printing spaces in each row is 1 to n minus row minus 1. Now let us see how to print the values in each row. If you consider, after printing the spaces, next you have to print values. The values to be printed are not same. It changes according to the row number. In the first row, you need to print 1 column. In the second row, you need to print 2 columns. In the third row, you need to print 3 columns and so on. Now, in that also, there is a special pattern followed. So what is the special pattern here is, if you look at the right hand side matrix, that is going to tell you what number you have to print. And the left hand side matrix is going to tell you what is the row index and the column index of those elements. If you consider this part as indicated by the cursor movement, in all these things your number is 1. So what is the relation for all these numbers? Look at this cursor movement. In all these numbers, the row number and the column number are same. The first number indicates the row index and the second number indicates the column index. Here, in all these, the row index and column index are same. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4. So, when row index and column index are same, we need to print 1. Similarly, look at these elements as indicated by the cursor movement. In all these elements, what is the common thing existing? Look at these indices values. So here, the index are 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0. So the common thing among these items is the column index, that is the second number, is 0. So when the column index is 0, in those positions, you need to print 1. So now if you look at this, in the outer part of the Pascal triangle, we have 1. So for printing 1, now the condition is if col is equal to 0 or row is equal to 1, then you need to print 1 in those positions. So whatever I need to print, first I am storing it in the array, then I am going to print it. Since I want to store it in a 2D array, I need to give 2 dimensions. The first dimension is row index and the second dimension is column index. So in A of row col, you store the value of 1. Now we saw how to derive at the value in the corner position. Now let us look at the inner position as indicated by the black color. If you consider these things, let us consider with the help of the index. Just look at the index. Here, in these things, we are going to calculate the value of each element by adding 2 elements from the previous row. So, every row element is considered by adding 2 elements in the previous row. If you see here, the row index is 2. You need to take 2 elements from the previous row with row index 1. Okay, so you can see here, it is row index with 1. And if I want to find the element in column 1, I need to consider elements in column 0 and column 1 in the previous row. That means if I want to find the value of A of 2, 1, I need to add the element A of 1, 0 and A of 1, 1. So what I'm doing here is I am considering 2 elements from the previous row. So If I want to have the value of row, I need to consider A of row minus 1 and here also A of row minus 1. But what about the column index? If you want the value of A of 2, 1, you need to consider A of 1, 0 and then A of 1, 1. That is, the column index is col minus 1 and then col. So here, if it is col, you add col minus 1 from the previous row and col from the previous row. So this is the formula for printing the elements in the inner part. So now we are clear with the logic for printing the Pascal triangle. Now let us see the program. Now coming to the program, first I need to include the header files hash include stdio.h and conio.h. Then I'm going to write my main function. In my main, I'm going to declare the variables. First, I'm declaring the variable n for reading the number of rows, and then a 2D array with 10 rows and 10 columns is declared. The name of the array is A. This array is going to store the values to be printed, and then R and C are the index variables for the for loop, one for controlling the row and another for controlling the column. Then I have space. This is the index for controlling the spaces in the for loop. First, I'm going to get the number of rows from the user by means of scanf function, and I'm going to store it in the variable n. After that, I'm going to run my nested loop. First, outer for loop is for printing the number of rows. So in the formula, we have seen that you need to run the outer for loop from the index 0 up to n minus 1. So in the for loop, I am writing r is equal to 0. This is the starting condition. And terminating condition is r less than or equal to n minus 1. So every time when you want to go to the next row, you need to give r plus plus. That is nothing but r is equal to r plus 1. So this for loop is for controlling the number of rows. And in each row, first we have to print spaces. So in the inner for loop, we have two for loops. One for loop is for printing the spaces, and the second for loop is for printing the numbers. Let us first see the for loop of printing the spaces, because first you have to print the space, then only you have to print the number. So in the inner for loop, for printing space, we have space is equal to 1, space less than or equal to n minus r minus 1, then space plus plus. This is a formula we saw before. So now what you need to do in this for loop is you need to print the space. So call the function printf. You are going to simply print the space. So within double quotes, you give one space. Then after that, if you run this for loop, the necessary spaces will be printed for each row. Then you need to print the number of columns. So for printing the columns, we are going to run the for loop for c is equal to 0, c less than or equal to r, c plus plus. Then inside this, we are going to print the numbers. For printing the numbers, we saw the condition. If row is equal to column, or column is equal to 0, then you have to store a value of 1 in the array. This is nothing but the corner elements in each row. So I am storing A of RC is equal to 1. Else is nothing but we are going to print the value of the inner elements of each row. So there we saw the general formula as A of RC is equal to A of R minus 1 C minus 1 plus A of R minus 1 C. That is, we are taking two elements from the previous row. One with the column number C and another with column number C minus 1. Now you need to print these values. So I am giving the printf statement. Since I want to print the value from the array, I am going to give the format specifier as %d. Why does %d is? This array is an integer array. Now this will print the value which is contained in the variable A of RC. And after printing the value, before the next element, you need to print the space. So after %d, I am giving one space. If you don't give the space, the elements will be printed continuously. But the space is required between two elements. So give the space in this. Now, run the inner for loop as many number of times as you need for each row. Finally, you need to print the second row. After printing every row, you have to go to the second row. The second row is always printed in a new line. That means you have to give the printf statement for printing the new line character. So I am giving printf /n. /n is the escape sequence for printing the new line character. Now run this for loops for the number of rows given from 0 up to n minus 1. When the number of rows is equal to n, this condition will become false. Then the program will come outside the for loop. Now your entire logic is over. So next we will see how to run the program. First, I'm compiling the program. I'm getting success message. So let me run the program. When you run the program, it will ask you enter the number of rows. You can type any number. First, I'm typing the number of rows as 3. Now it is printing me 3 rows. As you can see here, the corner elements are 1 and the inner elements are decided by the rule of the Pascal triangle. Let me run the program again. Now this time, let me run for 5 rows. So in this, 5 rows are printed in the output and we have the values as decided by the rules of the Pascal triangle. So with this, the Pascal triangle program is over. Thank you.